Hello, today we're going to talk about exponential functions. All right, an exponential function is a function in which a variable is the exponent. All right, the general form of your exponential function is ab raised to the x, where b is your base and a is just your coefficient in front of it. All right. So the graph makes a curved line. Maybe like this, this, or this. It's just a curved line. You have exponential growth, exponential decay, decay. Right? And now we are going to just do some of these graphs. All right, we're going to graph two that are basically inverses of each other. So this one right here, we're going to make a table for it. I'm going to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Those are the 5 numbers I like to use. I started using them a long time ago and I've used them ever since. So when I plug in -2 over here, I'll actually expand it over a little bit. Now graph up there. So when you put -2 up there, that negative right there means you take your base and you flip it over and make it 1/2. Right? So now I have 1/2 squared. So whenever you have, so if I had 3 raised to the -1, that's actually 1/3. If I have 3 raised to the -2, that means I have 1/3 squared. I distribute the squared to both, and I get 1/9. It's pretty simple, just takes some thinking. So now I have to square the top and square the bottom, and I get 1/4. Now I do -1. So 2 raised to the -1 gives me 1/2. 0, whenever you put 0 in, anything raised to 0 power is always 1. 2 raised to the 1 is just 2. And then 2 down here, 2 raised to the 2 is 4. So now let's graph these points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And let's graph them in. Graph them in red. So -2, 1/4. So I come out the -2, and I just kind of guesstimate where 1/4 is. -1, 1/2, go up a little bit, right in between it. 0, 1, which is our y-intercept. 1, 2, right there, and 2, 4. And that is the graph of this. Our horizontal asymptote, if you just want a little bit extra, I call it the ha, would be at 0. So that's a dotted line to where this will never ever meet. Or you could say, yeah, it's at 0. So it'll go forever and ever that direction. Your y-intercept is 1 because when you put 0 in for x, you get 1. And there you go. This is an exponential growth. So let's go more to this one. X, we'll do the same thing again, and Y, but it's going to be different just because of that negative right there. So I have -2. What that negative means is you're going to switch the sign in this case. So if I plug in -2, it's going to make it 2. So I just switch the sign of whatever I'm plugging in. So 2 squared gives me 4. Plug in -1, I get 2 to the 1, which is 2. Plug in 0, anything raised to 0 power is always 1. Plug in 1, so 2, and I have to switch the sign because of the negative. So I have 2 raised to -1, which gives me 1/2. 2, switch a sign, raise to negative 2, and we already found out over here, that's 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll graph it in our red. So now all we have to do is graph these points. It should make a curved line. But this is a decay, so it's going to be going down. So negative 2, 4, 1, 2, 0, 1, 1, 1/2, 1/4. You don't need to know this, but your horizontal asymptote is again at 0. So it'll never touch the x-axis. Now this is a growth, this is a decay. They're just opposites. Whenever you have the negative up there, that means it's a reflection across the y-axis. Right? And that's how you graph them. Just make a chart, plug in points, solve it. All right, this one is a little bit more difficult because whenever you have a fraction up here, that means you are square rooting it, cube rooting it, fourth rooting it, whatever. So if I have like 4 raised to the 1/2, that is actually saying I have the square root of 4, which is 2. Now you can still put in the calculator as 4 raised to the 1/2 or 0.5, and it'll still give you the same thing. So if I say 8 to the 1/3, that's saying the cube root of 8, which is 2. That's what this is going to say here when we do it. So it's a little bit more difficult problem to do, but we will work our way through it. You need a calculator. I've already done all the calculations for me to make it a little bit easier, but it's going to come out looking strange. So I'm going to start with negative 2 first. So I have 2 raised to the negative 1/2 now. So what that means is since I have a negative, I have to switch this to 1/2, 1/2. All right. So I take I could say 0.5 raised to the 1/2. So what this is actually saying is I'm square rooting 0.5. When I square root 0.5, I get 0.71. I'm actually going to check that. All right, now for our next one. Negative 1 raised to 2, so that's negative 1/1, which gives you 2 to the negative 1, which is 1/2. We'll just say 0.5, because we're sticking with decimals. All right, if you put in 0, 2 to the 1/0, you can't do that because 0 can never be in your denominator, so this is undefined. It can't happen. You can never have a 0 in your denominator. You can't divide anything by 0. Now we do 1, so 2 to the 1/1, which gives you 2. 2, so 2 raised to the 1/2. So what is the square, basically what is the square root of 2? You get 1.4. Now we're going to do 3, so 2 to the 1/3. So what's the cube root of 2? And the cube root of 2 is 1.25. Now you're going to do the fourth root. So what is the fourth root of 2? And you get 1.19. All right, now let's graph these. First one we're going to graph is negative 2, 7.1. Right about there. Negative 1, 0.5. And then 0 is undefined. We're going to show undefined by a circle. Now let's do the rest of them. 1, 2, 2, 1.4, 3, 1.25, and 4, 1.19. Right. This is a different looking exponential because you have the 1/2 up there, and it changes a lot. Alright, so that's how this one is going to, that's how you find everything, by doing the square root. So whenever you have a half or a third, you're always doing that kind of root. There's a little button on your calculator. It's even on my phone calculator. I think it says y over x. You put in whatever your number is, so you put in 4, then you'll hit this button right here, and then you put in whatever root you want it to. All right, and our last one, x and y. I think you got the hint by now on how to do all this, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster. I'm gonna do the same numbers I always do. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. They're just my favorites. So 2 raised to -2 squared. Remember your order of operation, so 2 squared gives me 2 to the 4th, because -2 squared is 4. 2 to the 4th will give me 16. 2 raised to the -1 squared, so it gives me 2 to the 1, which is 2. 0 will give me 1. 1, when I plug it in, I get 2 to the 1 squared, which is 2. And then 2 raised to the 2 squared gives me 2 to the 4th, which is 16. So if you notice, this is going to be in the shape of a parabola, because it has the same numbers. Alright, so -2, 16, 2, 16, 0, 1, and -1. There you go. It's a parabola. Alright, there's some more information on this lesson that I'll go over when we go over it in class. Hope this helps with the majority of it.